sanctioned on the cross. He lived, he lives, and he will. He's the same yesterday and today, tomorrow and forevermore. Emmanuel.
We just want to continue with our series. We are developing a life of significance in you. We just want you to develop and become a significant person right where you live. You change your family, you change your community. That is the sole purpose of Righteous Nation. In your very age, you are not too young. You are not just too young. Don't wait for tomorrow. So we want you to change everything around you. Change your mindset, you change your home, you change your communities, and then you change the nations. Look, you are meant for nations. Yes, I said you are meant for nations. You are not just meant for that locality where you are. You are not just a simple man that is going to just live on and die tomorrow and we forget you. You're going to be a person, a man, a lady of significance, a person who will be spoken about. Have you ever imagined and wondered what they will speak about you on your, yes, on your wedding day? I don't mean your wedding day, but what will they speak about you when you die, on that day when you're dead? What will they say? Will they say that you've been this? What will they have to speak about you? Think about it for a second, all minutes. As in, what describes you today shouldn't be the exact thing that they must only speak about on your death, when you're dead, on that day when you're burying you. I know many people don't want to hear about death. They hate death. Some people say, I'd rather go back and watch his sermon about eternal life, you know. But every one of us will die, because the only way to meet the Father is dying. But he has given us an opportunity here on earth so that we enjoy life and fulfill his purpose on earth and fulfill the mission. There is a reason as to why you are on this planet earth. That's why we come to boost you up, to encourage you, to tell you that you are not meant just to be a carnal person. You are a supernatural being. So you must take on the authorities and enjoy the victories of Christ. So today we want to speak about time, seasons, and purpose. There is a specific time for everything. There is a specific season for anything, and there is a purpose for everything. This is what I mean. When you utilize well your time and you combine it well, you are better to say that this season has been good. And if the season has been good, it means you are fulfilling your purpose. What is your purpose? Have you ever imagined why we were created as humans here on the earth? Why were we created? Did we just emerge, as people say, and we just have to breathe air, oxygen every day and occupy space, and one day we all leave and there is even nothing to be remembered about us? I don't think that is it. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, from verses 1, it says, there is time for everything. There is time for everything. It means there is time for sleeping and time for waking up. There is time for weeping and time to rejoice. There is time for sowing a seed and time for harvesting what you sow. And there is time for going to school. And there is time for testing out what you studied in that class. There is time for watching this video. And there is time for evaluating what you learned. John Maxwell says in his book, The Irrefutable Laws of Growth, he says that number one law that governs life should be the law of intentionality. You get? How you are intentional about everything determines how you live a life and how you utilize time. When we define time, we can define it in many ways. Some people define it as the opportunities that come about and after they are gone. That is time. You can also define time as something that is continuously measured from before and afterwards. You measure it from before and afterwards. That is time. And you can also say time is from the beginning to the end, from everlasting to everlasting. That is time. You know, you can also define time according to clocks, calendars, and dates. You know, that is when you break it through and you say the hour, or you begin with a second, then you say a minute, then you say an hour, days, weeks, months, and years. All that is defining time. You are trying to describe what time is, but that does not give time its sense. It does not make sense. But what makes sense is what we put into time. What we put into time, how we utilize it. Have you ever imagined how you spend your life, how you spend your time? Think about it for a minute. How do you spend your time in a week? Many people are going to realize that they wasted a lot of time doing something that is not within their purpose. There is a season when you are 1 year or 0 year to 20 years. I always tell people that is called the preparation period, the preparation season. You have to prepare, you study, you go and have all the education that it requires, and you must attain it in that period. I don't mean that you cannot study other things elsewhere, but this is the flesh time. It is time when you are very fresh to study, to learn anything. Anything that you learn from 0 years to 20 years, trust me, that will determine how you will be. Okay, I mean, if you are 20 years and above, what you are today is a product of how you have spent your life the previous years. So I ask of you, the preparation time, use it very efficient so that you do not have to regret. We are not called to be in regret. We are called for greatness. So never regret. Live for greatness. I ask of you, if you are from 0 years to 20 years and you are watching this video, this is the ultimate thing that God has intended. It is not a coincidence that you landed onto this video. So I ask of you, start to calculate your time. Start putting work in your time. Let me tell you a secret. If you do the same thing and you do it again and again, I mean, if you could choose to do a certain task and you do it every day, you determine, you are intentional onto doing it again and again, 5 years down the road, you will be a great specialist in doing that same thing. I mean, if you chose maybe to ride a bicycle, that is your choice. But you ride it every day, every day, every day, every day. Eventually, you become an expert in doing the same task after 5 years down the road. Time can also be divided into 3 portions that I want us to focus on today. 3 portions, that is past, present, and future. The past, the present, and the future. The past is from 0 years to your current age. From 0 years to the age you are today. Someone, I went somewhere on a funeral, and somebody was speaking the years of the late, and he had to say that the late had 22,000. And I was like, 22,000? What is he going to say? And he was like, 22,000 days. Have you ever calculated your years in days? You should even take it higher to calculate your years in minutes and hours. Leaving that alone. So the past is from the day you were born to the day yesterday, or to the minute that we have just left back. That is in the past. It is called past because it can never be retrieved. It can never be brought back. It is in the past. So the present is that time you are living in from today to the end of today. That is your present situation. And the future begins exactly right from that very hour that you're sitting and watching now. The future begins right after this very minute. Yeah. I know they have always told you that the future is ahead. The future is ahead. But when does it begin? They don't tell you. So it begins the very hour you choose to start chasing after it. And it proceeds on until the day you die. So I want you to focus today and remember your past just for a second. And after you've remembered all about what happened in your past, let it not be the excuse to limit you from going where you are supposed to go. Many people, mostly in our country, they are limited from progressing. They are limited from personal growth. They are limited from achieving great things in life because they cling on to the past. They have excuses. They always say, you know, I would have been this or the other, but I'm not that because, you know, you see, now where I was born, that is what determined where I went to school. And when I was born, my mother was this and this, and then I lost my family. That is all in the past. I know you heard me right. That is all in the past. You must step over your future, your past. I mean, your past. You must step over it and you chase after the future. The present just helps you to link, to bridge between the past and the future. It is a bridge that makes you to escape your past to the future. So you decide today. Today is the present day. And I said today is just the link. It is the bridge that links your past, where you came from, and what happened to you wherever we don't want to know anymore. Now, may you run onto this bridge, which is called present, to link it onto your future, so that you be a man of influence, a woman of significance. Stop being very, very soulful about what life you have lived before. That is all in the past. If you never went to a good school, that is all in the past. I also never went to one of the good schools, but it is all in the past. That does not determine where you should go. Believe God today, and God will take you to your desired destination. Trust Him starting from today. Tell Him, I'm not going to trust you from my past. I'm going to trust you from the present to the future. You know what? That's why the Bible says that if any man comes unto Christ Jesus, he is a new creation. Look, the old has gone and you are a new creation. And I want to tell you today, stop chasing demons in your past. Start chasing the present demons that are hindering you from going to your future. I mean, Jesus has already dealt with your demons in the past. Look, if Jesus says that once you let me in and I come into you, I want to dine with you and dwell with you. That is in Revelation 3:20. He means that He dwells with you and He cleanses you. He makes you a complete new person. He gives you a fresh page, a new page to write a new chapter. Just allow to flip the page from your past and you get into the future today. Start living life in the future today. What you use your time today will determine what you will be 5 years from now. I mean, you either give results or you remain giving reasons. You cannot give both. You either have excuses or you have success stories. So today, choose to create success stories. Stop saying that you are young. You are at your ripe age. Start working onto something. Start learning a skill. I spoke about a time where we have to learn, where we have to go through education. Start to check out, what kind of education have I got? You know, there are three or four best types of education that every man should have, every person should have in their life, and you know that I have this kind of education. Number one kind of education is called basic education. Basic education is studying from your nursery school, kindergarten, all that is basic, something that helps you to live a life. You grow along. You study from nursery, primary school, you go to high school and tertiary schools. All that you were studying, that was basic education. There is a second kind of education. It's called the skills education. Skills education is when you study a skill. You study something that you're going to be doing with your hands, with your brain, something that you're going to do and you earn a living maybe. But let me tell you the truth. When you have basic education and you also have the skills education, you will remain poor. It sounds funny, but you will still remain poor. So you need some other kind of education. That is spiritual education. Spiritual education is when you study about God, you study about religion, you study about societies and many other things that have happened in the past, in the present, and in the future. That is called spiritual education. But once you have all these three, you are having the basic education, you're having the skills education and the spiritual education, you will still remain poor. You see? You need some other kind of education also. That is number 4. That is financial education. Some other people call it financial literacy. It sounds very beautiful. You see, Africa needs to understand this, that once you study about everything, you get knowledge about it, you get to understand it, and then you know how it operates and how it works. Now, when you study about time, you get to know how time works. When you study about seasons, you understand which seasons you are in and how it works. When you study about purpose, you get to understand what is the purpose of this. Each and every device that has been made has a purpose. An example, if we are talking about a phone, it has a purpose. It has something it was made for. You understand? So you also have to know that there is another kind of education which is called financial education, and it has a purpose. You must look out for it. So you study and you utilize time to have all these educations. When you combine all of them together, life is going to be successful. But once you just run with only one of them, life will never be successful. I want to wind up by just requesting you to start making a few things in your life as assignment. I'm going to ask of you to go into your phone and note down, or you get a notepad, you get somewhere to write, and may you be intentional. Write down those very things that you want to see improve and give them time, a time frame. You say, I want to learn a new language, for example. I want to learn a new language, and I'm going to take off maybe 6 months of learning a new language. And you say, I am going to do it every day for an hour or 2. You see? And you choose each, and you allocate it a schedule, you allocate it a time in your notebook. Or you say, I want to improve my spiritual life. You see? You say, I'm intentional. I'm going to be setting myself a target. Each and every day, I will pray for an hour or 2. You say every morning, maybe at 5, I wake up early in the morning. I pray from 5 to 6 or to 7. When you pray from 5 to 6, that is an hour. If you pray from 5 to 7, those are 2 hours. So if you do it the first day, it will be hard. You do it the second day, it is somehow getting there. You do it the fourth day. It is all about consistency. When you do it consistently, you are going to see yourself working it out, and it's going to become a part of you, and you become an expert in doing the very thing. You can also set another target. You say, I'm going to increase on my social relationships, how I relate with people, because I always tell people that you are a product of the 5 people you have always related with for the past 5 years. So be intentional on improving your life and putting work in time and knowing which season you are in, and may you define your purpose today. Ask God, why was I created? And God is faithful. He will let you know why you were created. You will start to understand that everything you see and you don't like, you don't want, you are created to change it. You were created to change this world. You are created to change something in your family that you don't want to be continuing. And you are going to change communities. Every one of you has a potential to change the world. You begin from the smallest unit, which is family. You go to the community, and you go to the nation and the world at large. This is how we are going to do it. And we are glad that we are walking this journey with you. Thank you for watching. We love you.
I will